Alright, what's up guys? This is Ryan from Elevate Security, and in this video, it's a bit of a bonus really, but if I do recall correctly, I did actually come across this in the OSCP, and I certainly have in a number of CTFs, and either way, it's very good to know, and that is how to exploit or look for vulnerabilities in WordPress sites. Now, here to demonstrate this, I have Hack the Box once again. And this site here is a WordPress site. As you can see down here at the bottom, proudly powered by WordPress. Now, especially if you're doing any kind of freelancing and stuff, chances are you're going to come across WordPress, maybe even have a blog site of your own, and you just want to make sure it's secure and know that you can rest easy knowing that, right? So definitely an important skill to cultivate. You might even have it as an exam box. I didn't in my case, but there could be one in the rotation very well. So yeah, I would say this is definitely something worth learning. So we're going to be using a tool today in order to test this known as WPScan. And so basically it's a vulnerability scanner for WordPress. And I believe it's allowed on the exam, though you might want to clarify that and double check to make sure, just in case. But yeah, this is basically, it's going to scan for known vulnerabilities in WordPress sites. But even if it's not allowed on the exam, we find that later, then it's definitely good to know stuff like this, right? Because there's a number of times where you're going to come across well-known services, like whether they be like CMSs like WordPress, or Joomla, as we saw the other day, or whatever, and they're going to have some things that are known to be vulnerable, and once you get access to them, then that could very well assist you in getting a shell, right? Whether you do it manually or using a scanner, as we will here, the whole end goal with them is the same, right? In order to get code execution on the site. Now, we're going to use WordPress scan, like I said, for this first off. And so one way that we can do that, I believe I don't know if I have it in my path. I don't think I do, but let me just check. Oh, actually I do. Cool. All right, so we're going to run WPScan. And we'll run it with the -h flag first for help. Or maybe we need to do, okay, yeah, it just takes a minute to run, as you saw there. But it's a good idea to run the help command if you're not sure what a command can do, like what flags it has, what options it has. So that's where we'll start. And what I would say for this one is we're definitely going to want to obviously supply it with a URL. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run it with the enumerate flag. Because the first thing that we want to do, while this does have a bunch of different features, we want to first just enumerate as much as we can about this particular installation of WordPress here. So in particular, what I found to be pretty useful is definitely the vulnerable themes, VT here, because if you're not familiar with WordPress, it basically provides a bunch of different default themes and third-party add-on themes, and a lot of those have been traditionally found to have vulnerabilities, so we're definitely going to want to enumerate that. And in addition to that, we'll do the Tim Thumbs as well. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but I've seen this being used and being recommended as a flag to run. Maybe I'll do some research later on, and or someone, if you know, be sure to leave it down in the comment section below, but that's one that I've heard to be pretty useful. We'll run with that. And then as well, we'll do the user IDs, and because yeah, if we can find some user IDs on the system, then that would be pretty ideal, obviously. Then we can begin brute forcing, right? And lastly, we'll do the AP for all plugins, because another thing in addition to the themes, the plugins traditionally has seen a number of vulnerabilities, right? In fact, I would venture to say that most of the vulnerabilities that you would leverage on exploiting WordPress will come from a vulnerable plugin, right? So definitely going to include that. And beyond that, we'll just do the -- log and save it to a file. So yep, with that being said, we'll run it like so. So let's do that. All right, so WPScan, tag URL, HTTP. This was apocalypse.htb, and I think that was it, right? Yep. And then we will say -e for enumerate, vt, they're comma separated, by the way, as you see. And then we'll say to log it to, we'll go back one directory and put it as wpscan.log. So yeah, this definitely takes a few minutes. Well, that was invalid. Hang on a sec. Maybe this flag is actually deprecated, right? I know this used to be one. I think we can do -o for output. All right, so now the scan did complete. I just went ahead and catted that file, the WordPress scan.log file here, right? And so now I can see the different things it found. Interesting findings here, right? It was actually able to grab a banner from the header, so we know what version of Apache it's running, and thus we know it is an Ubuntu server. And we'll just sort of go through some of this together. This is the type of output that you're going to see when you run the WordPress scanner in an enumeration mode like this. Right? It found a README as well. Upload directory, yep, /uploads here, WP content /uploads. So it's able to find a number of interesting, folders and files on the system. And it even tells us exactly what theme it's running and that the version's out of date. And then from there, we could look into known findings with that if it doesn't just outright tell us. And then here you see this potential user identified Falaraki, which is what we can use when we try to brute force the password for that system, or not for this system, but for this WordPress login, right? So basically, the next thing I'll show you is I'm going to go ahead and use a password tool known as Cool, C-E-W-L, in order to create my own custom word list. Maybe I'll definitely create another video on how to use that. And if you watch my live stream the other night, episode 3 of the live stream, you'll see I actually did use the Cool tool. So if you want more info on it and how to use it, you can watch that one. You'll see me use it. So yeah, just update you guys. If you are doing the Apocalypse box, it wasn't actually through the Cool tool that I ended up getting this password. There was some steganography involved with an image. And extracting it, I found this list that we can use as a password list to brute force the password for this known account, which I already forgot the name of, so let me just look that up really quick from our WPScan log, and it doesn't look very good unless, so we're just going to cat it to the screen. It looks a lot better that way. Falaraki, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to echo that into a file, creds.txt, which we don't know the password yet, but yeah, that way I don't have to remember that username in the future. So now the way we're going to do this is we're actually going to use WPScan once again in order to do the brute forcing. Now we don't have to use this tool, but I just want to kind of show you guys that this is something that you definitely can use for this type of thing. Of course, the caveat is if it's not WordPress, then you're not going to be able to use this tool to brute force. So we could use something like Hydra or any kind of like brute force tool like that. But while we're on the topic of WordPress, I thought I would show this as well. So just like before, we're going to give it the URL parameter, and we'll do HTTP apocalypse.htb again. And now this time what we're going to do is we're going to actually give it tac word list. And that list that I had on the screen earlier, I saved that as list.txt. And then tac username, and what is that, Falaraki, believe that's how it was spelled. So now we should be able to run this, and okay, maybe there is different terminology now. Like I said, the last time I used this application's command line utility was quite a long time ago. So there might be basically different terminology to do the same thing. And I think I saw it at the bottom, but let's check here. So yeah, there you go. -P for passwords is going to be the way to do it now. So there you go. If you were using this tool back in the day, just know that some of this stuff has changed. Let's see. I think this was fine, right? But let's try with the -P. And if it gives us another complaint, then we can go back to the drawing board, right? Yeah, so username is not valid. Usernames. I wonder if it's okay if it's just one. Maybe we need to give it in quotes, but maybe not. It looks like it did kick off. But yeah, that's what's going to happen sometimes. I'll leave this in. I won't edit this part out because that's just the way that it goes sometimes. You know, commands change, flags change as they update the code base and whatnot, right? So it's trying Falaraki against all these different passwords, as you can see here. You can see the percentage done over here. It's about 40-some% done. And it goes through it pretty fast. Now, this wasn't the largest word list ever, but... And there you go. So it found a valid combination here. I have no idea how to pronounce whatever this is, but that's his password. So what we could do is we could go into WP-admin. Or, yeah, let's see. Where is that? No, I mean, we'll just verify it, right? Let me Google this WP-admin subdirectory or page, because I can't remember. I think it's like WP-admin. Oh, you know what? Let me try that. I think it's like /WP-admin. I don't know why it tried to Google that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, wplogin.php. So let's try Falaraki, and then we'll try with that password that we found here. And yeah, there you see. We brute forced it successfully, and we logged in to WordPress as this user account that we found as well. So yeah, I hope this was of help to you guys. And just to let you know, the way we would go forward with this is once you have access with a privileged account onto WordPress, you can overwrite plugins a lot of times to upload a shell, stuff like that. We'd probably do something like that, I would imagine, unless there's something else that's a known vulnerability. But it's kind of one of those things like the Tomcat thing, like the Joomla thing. If you have a privileged account on one of these CMSs, you can just overwrite some of the PHP with like your shellcode PHP and probably spawn a shell that way. But I really wanted to highlight the WPScan tool because it's a tool that I've used a number of times, whether it be for OSCP or various CTFs. So yeah, a little bonus video. I know it was kind of long, but if you stuck around at this point, definitely let me know if there's any questions or comments down in the section below. Another reminder, we got a live stream going on tomorrow. We got the initial shell on that box. We're going to be looking to get our privilege escalated up to a root shell. That'll be from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, if you guys been enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button. It really helps out with the algorithms, and I will see you guys in the next video.